All right, good afternoon. Bear with me if I'm not on my game. It's 100 degrees, over 100 degrees outside, and the air conditioning is busted in my building. I think that they have a makeshift AC up front, but it doesn't come into here. I think they're going to have it fixed by next week. I don't know, who knows. But I had to dig deep this week to try to figure out what would be the best topic to discuss. It's been kind of a slow week as far as legal news is concerned. I didn't want to discuss Johnny Depp for the third time. So I kind of dug deep and thought I'd discuss something that was on the news, but it's kind of faded away recently. And that is the parole situation regarding the assassin of Robert Kennedy, Sirhan Sirhan. I want to preface this by stating that I have incredible respect for the Kennedy family. They have done some amazing work for this country. Robert Kennedy himself was a great man. And I've lived by the Ambassador Hotel in the present-day Koreatown section of Los Angeles, Mid-Wilshire, where Mr. Kennedy was assassinated near the Ambassador Hotel. Now it's a school. They have a monument for him. I've seen that video numerous times where he's making the speech right before he gets assassinated. And you have Rosie Greer standing behind him, and he shouts out to Don Drysdale on his sixth straight shutout. And then shortly thereafter, he was assassinated. So I have a lot of respect, and that was a very, very sad and emotional situation. But what we need to really understand again is the law, and I believe this is another classic example of where politics got injected into the law. Mr. Sirhan was at the Donovan Bailey Correctional Facility in the Otay Mesa section of San Diego when he was up for parole for, I don't know how many times he was up for parole, but this most recent time, the parole board granted parole for him, and then that was overturned by the governor of California, Gavin Newsom. All right, individual I have some respect for. I'm not trying to diss the governor or any of that stuff, but what I am concerned about is the fact that a political official could be allowed to overturn the decision of a legal body when there's no issues of misconduct or any sort of impropriety or any corruption or anything like that. This is based on the decision. And Mr. Newsom, who's a smart guy, but he's not an attorney. He has nothing really to do with the direct dealings of the parole board. It's the governor of California. So it's clearly a case of politics being injected, especially with, there was an op-ed where he, back in January in the LA Times, where he wrote about his decision and said that, Sirhan should listen to the words of Robert Kennedy when trying to rehabilitate himself and all of this stuff, and that he hasn't rehabilitated himself. But again, those carefully calculated political statements to again, kind of appeal to emotions, as we've discussed before. Okay, and the issues are not in these type of parole. It's kind of a dangerousness standard. I deal with a lot of dangerousness hearings before trial, holding people pending trial based on their dangerousness. And I have strong feelings about that, because sometimes it's not necessarily based on the case at hand or any real evidence. Is based on just the perception of dangerousness based on their previous history. This is after the fact, though. And parole is a unique situation because, yes, one of the factors, if you look at the parole handbook, one of the factors, the first one is the person committed the offense in an especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel manner. So yes, it does have to do with the original crime. Okay, but one of the examples they give is attacking multiple victims, carrying out the offense in a dispassionate or calculated manner, demonstrating an exceptionally callous disregard for human suffering, or committing a crime for a motive that is inexplicably or very trivial in relation to the offense. Okay, I'm not downplaying what happened. Okay, but all indications are Sirhan shot at Robert Kennedy. He didn't. It's not necessarily like where he decapitated anybody or one of these mass shooting type situations. He was a student at Pasadena City College. Apparently, he was drunk. Came in from Pasadena to Mid-Wilshire and assassinated Mr. Kennedy in this kitchen. Okay, and then he was subsequently arrested by the LAPD Rampart Division. But how we can then say now, several decades later, that he shouldn't be released. And again, my main concern here is that the parole board already made their determination, and then it was overturned by a political official. But if we really look at the parole board's determination and compare that to what Gavin Newsom wrote in this op-ed on the LA Times, I mean, it's really, he's not going off the actual the statute, the rules, okay, which would be the person, including what I previously said about the nature of the offense. Also have to look at the person's previous record of violence, similar to a dangerousness hearing pre-trial. Person has a history of unstable or tumultuous relationship with others, okay. I mean, I've heard he's been beat up at jail, but I mean, I haven't heard of him doing anything to anybody else. The person has a previous record of violence. I mean, other than this crime, there's nothing else. Yeah, he had some heated emotions about the U.S. involvement in the Middle East, and wrote some stuff, and that was kind of linked to this crime when he was going through all of this after the assassination. But there is nothing saying that he had a previous history, criminal history, and then the person has a history of severe mental problems related to the offense. I have not heard that. I do know that there were drinking issues, but I've not heard about anything as far as severe mental problems related to the offense. And again, the person has committed serious misconduct in prison or jail. And like I said, other than sort of him actually being beat up, I haven't heard of anything like that. So, these are, important factors. Now, if we keep going on, there is a factor that says, and this is where Newsom brings this up in the LA Times, and I think he kind of leached onto this one for, in my opinion, bigger political reasons, but said that the person has demonstrated remorse and understanding of the magnitude of the offense. I think he knows the magnitude of the offense. I think he's remorseful about the situation, but there are a lot of situations where somebody may confess to something and then retract that. Or, I mean, one of the things they're pointing at here is that he's saying he doesn't remember what's going on, and that would kind of fit with the narrative that he was intoxicated or whatever, and then he committed this crime. So, I mean, I don't believe that really any of this lends itself to not granting somebody parole, especially when, as I've said, parole is something that determination is made at sentencing. It's made by the sentencing judge. Okay, so if that sentencing judge determined this person could have the eligibility for parole, I believe when this person is up for parole, it shouldn't be really based on, we shouldn't be relitigating the case or rehashing all the events. We should be really looking at that person's suitability to be released to the community and not pose a danger. Okay, so again, two things here. I believe he should be granted parole, but I also don't believe that a political official should be allowed to overturn that determination, short of there was something of misconduct or something that would have corrupted the actual determination. But when they've actually made that determination legitimately, I don't believe that it should be overturned. Okay, but that it is what it is. It's been denied, but we'll see what happens when he comes up for parole again. All right, have a great weekend. Hopefully I cool off here, and I'll see you soon.